kaanakan iti with expiration.
You find any inspiration in this we have done, and you have done your noble part.
El Maestro Speaks podcast.
Okay.
Yay!
We cannot do anything about that.
We are
That
back.
is your face. Okay, so
Yeah, I know I need to exercise, but I think I'm slimmer than you, so it's okay.
I had 6 packs for
Past is past.
for years. Yeah, but past is still a part of me.
Well, I'm gonna
And,
have that.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
future is
That is uncertain.
oh,
That's uncertainty.
one
For
to
me,
ano?
the benefit of discussing about the past is I had it.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just gonna
When you have that
keep
I
quiet
will.
and I'm gonna show you.
And you have that I will, that is like 80% of uncertainty. So with me is my, how do we introduce you again? My prettiest sister.
You
That's
got
it. I'll
right.
stop there.
You got it right this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop there.
No explanations.
And because of that, a lot of people is gonna be listening though.
Right.
And we will be talking about things today. And you said we'll be talking about, what was the certain topic that you were?
Leadership. You know
Leadership.
why? Maybe I am gonna take the time to
Leadership.
talk more.
Oh yeah.
Why it's leadership? It's about leadership.
Do you
So,
think being a leader is like the one I'm asking you a while back? Do you think it can be a natural? Do you think it is a talent, or it is something that it is a skill that you have to acquire?
what I think? I think
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Some are born as leaders. Some learned.
When
So
you
how
say
to
they're
lead.
born as a leader, what does that entail? I mean, if a person tells you that you were born as a leader, that
It comes natural for
it comes
them.
naturally.
Like you don't have to really give an effort to be a great leader. Anyway, why I'm gonna share muna why leadership. So recently, it's just really recent, no.
Yeah.
I've you influenced me in listening to podcasts. So I just recently installed Spotify
Thanks to
on
me.
my phone because of because sa podcast. So when I installed it, I really didn't, or the very first topic or topic I've searched is it's all about leadership podcast, and I think it was influenced no, di ba kagagaling nga namin ng Davao, and I've met people who are really good in leading, or I can say na wow, I really admire them, their leadership. So parang napapaisip ako na meron ba ako ng leadership, parang yung characteristic of a leader, yung parang ganon, yung how about me, yung parang ganyan, meron ba, am I a leader, yung mga questions na ganyan. Kasi nga being in Davao, I was the one appointed to be that leader ng team, and I'm not sure, maybe because I'm the oldest sa group namin, ganyan.
Thank you
Ngayon,
for admitting that you're old.
sa group namin, excuse me. I'm young. Okay, anyway. So, I saw those people and younger people than I na nagli-lead, and wow. And, ayun, biglang na-curious ako. And, listening to podcasts, so I found Craig Groeschel, and apparently, sikat siya na when it comes to leadership, na nag-speak siya sa Global Leadership Summit, mga ganyan. Now, may mga questions siya sa guests niya sa podcast niya na ganito, how or when did you realize na you are a leader?
Yeah.
Yung ganyan. And, may ganun. And I asked myself, and nag-reflect ako. I think all my life, I've been telling myself, no, I'm a follower. Puro ganun lang. I'm a follower. Though I'm being put in a position na, yes, you are the leader. Ikaw yung ate, ikaw magli-lead. Yung mga ganyan. Pero never ko actually siyang parang in-embrace talaga na leader ako. Na talagang proud ako na I'm a leader. Yung ganun, hindi. No. Parang, sige, magli-lead ako this time, pero pag natapos na itong task, no, I'm a follower. Parang, yung ganun lang. Though, kahit, yun nga, most of the time na napupunta ako sa position ng mga tinatawag na leader, parang sa position lang. So, ngayon, listening, hearing sa mga podcasts and, speakers about leadership, na parang nag-start na akong parang paano ba yun? Divert or
yes, like you're starting to accept little by little the responsibility.
Yeah, actually, and when was that? Saturday? Oh, yesterday lang. When officially I embraced it. Like
That you're a leader.
yeah. Officially, because I told somebody or someone, and sabi nila, yeah, you are a leader, believe it, yung ganon. Pero I think I know that at a certain level, pero hindi ko siya talaga yung in-embrace nga. Pero kahapon lang, gosh, parang I'm so old na para parang late na ba? Kasi I've been seeing yung mga ibang youth, no? Sabi nila, never too young to lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and parang sa age ko, parang
Never too old.
never too old to not lead. Parang ganon.
Yeah.
So anyway, yung parang question ko lang related dito is, kasi nga in-embrace ko yung pagiging leader, and most sa mga yung matatawag na great leaders, yung mga ganyan. Parang sa life stories nila, marami silang pinagdaanan. So I had a question the other day. So ano ko talaga. So the other day pa to, parang it's not like a one-time decision na yes, I'm a leader. Anyway, yun, sinulat ko dito. Can someone still be a great leader without going through tragic or depressing events in life?
Yeah.
Yun, sige. Go.
Yeah, but before I'll answer that one, you said you embrace it that you are a leader, and number one responsibility of the leader is manlilibre ng number one. So
actually,
yes.
why
I
my
think-
change? Why my mind's being changed, yung mindset ko about leadership? Because sa podcasts and mga leadership is influence. Ganyan.
So open yata ang yellow cab pa ngayon eh. So
Ay, wow.
we can still have that one. Well, one big pizza from the leader. That is to encourage your. I'm just kidding. Well, number one of the let's not say number one. One of the important character of becoming a leader, according to the books I read, I cannot remember, is to become a follower. Tama, di ba? So, in order to become a good leader, you have to become a good follower. I think that's from John Maxwell. If I'm not mistaken.
I think I also heard.
I'm rephrasing it
Okay.
maybe, but it is maybe I'm sure of it, from John Maxwell. So, being a good follower, as you claim, I'll say you claim because
Hindi naman good, sabi ko lang, follower ako, basta follower
yeah,
ako.
being a
ganon.
follower that is you already started your journey um, of becoming a good leader.
Mm.
Now, um, you are being prepared. Let's just say you are being prepared by the Lord to be a leader. It's just that you are a little hesitant to take the next step. You already have taken the first step, is to be a good follower, right?
Yeah.
And then now that, like you said, due to a lot of events and influences, now you have accepted it. Then now you are starting to armor yourself, or you're starting to train yourself to have the skills that is needed. And one of the skills that is needed also is, um, when you reflect of the things that you've been doing, um, a good leader should know herself or himself well. So one of the best ways so that we can evaluate ourselves, we can monitor ourselves, is through reflections. And you've been reflecting, you see. So
Mm.
that's it. You're starting to equip yourself with these skills. Now the question is, what is that? Do you need to, what is that? Do you need to go through like big events, traumatic events, in order to become a great leader? I don't think so, because God God gives us different challenges. Um, what is God give us different challenges, and then as a leader, as a person, you look at the challenges of other people.
Mhm.
The those big events that you consider as, I mean, the events that you consider as a big, you look at it through other people, and then you use their experiences, and from their experience you can draw a skill, or you can draw something, a lesson that you can apply to yourself. So it's not necessary that you should be the ones who will go through the fire. You can just look at other people who went through those um, trials, and you can just learn from them. So it's very special also. That's when we are going to use networking, right?
Mm.
So like every time that you meet someone, you can. That's the reason of this podcast here, is that I want to talk, and through talking, because kapag sasabihin kasi nating interview, people are, especially in our culture, ay, sus, may interview ako. And then you will not behave naturally. So I want it into a conversation. Kasi nga, when you're just telling stories over coffee, sometimes you're loosening up, and then you're giving things like what you did there, when you told me that you have two boyfriends when you were in high school, unknowingly, because that is how conversations flow. Now, that is why we have conversations like this. While we're listening, well, let's just use the colloquial word, nagmamarites tayo, hindi lang yun just for the sake of maritising.
I don't like to use the term. It's
Yeah.
not marites.
It's
Marites
not.
is
Oh, yeah. It's not
a
just
name.
about telling stories. It's also about learning. So, so ganun palang nangyari. When you went to that kind of problem, what did you do? And you look at the situation, and if there's something useful from it, then you can have it. You can equip it in yourself. Yun lang. So I don't think, in my opinion, it's not necessary that you will pass through tragic challenges. Those challenges will come as you live through your life.
It's funny. I actually mentioned that sa aming class just this week, and the question I had is the other week pa, last week ko pa sinulat to. Tapos what you just told me that I can observe from other people. I just said that sa class namin, like an insight sa inaaral namin. We are in the Old Testament survey too. And I just said na from the life of King David, Solomon, the kings of the United Kingdom ng Israel before, iba-iba sila ng pinagdaanan, or nung naging way how they became
Yes.
king. And nasabi ko rin nasabi mo lang na, yeah, it's a very good thing na inaaral natin to, and by studying their lives, how they lived, we can we don't need to experience to learn. We can
Yes.
learn by observing. Yung ganyan. And yeah, it actually is an answer to my question that I wrote.
And you should be, and you would be thankful for not just the of course it's very important also, but the experiences of the people in the Old Testament. Also, you would be having networks in the organizations that you have, wherein there are a lot of people. That's why it's very important networking and talking to people that you listen. Like what I said a while ago, if you're a good follower, you should also. It is naturally that you're a good listener. So you have to listen to them, listen, and always listen because you can always learn when you listen. You know.
Siguro actually parang yun yung firm ako na meron ako.
Everybody
you
has,
know, yeah, it's about yung tungkol sa pag-listen. Kasi nga, if you talk to people, you know if they're listening or
Yeah.
just, you know,
Yeah.
just hear you and then
There are
talk
some people-
about themselves, yung mga ganyan.
There are some people who will listen, and while they're listening to you, they're already preparing their rebuttal or their reply. It's not really listen. You have to, you have to let them talk, something like that. At times we always, well, at times we do that, but then if we are aware of ourselves, we try to monitor ourselves every day. We can always self-correct ourselves from in that moment. So that's how we do that. And starting to be a leader, you're gearing up to that point and doing small responsibilities until, so you start small, you're developing there, and then
Actually, yun. Parang maybe before, parang I hesitant because I know na being a leader, there are responsibilities. Yung ganyan.
or even becoming a member or a member of a group has
Oo nga,
responsibilities,
pero
right?
Maybe greater
Greater responsibilities.
ganyan. But I think kasi nga there are yung leadership kasi sabi nga influence ganyan and it's not the position. So it's how you live your life then leading people to God ganyan, being a Christian, of course I would mention that. Yeah, so leadership is influence, kaya parang talaga oo na
A pitfall of becoming a leader is when someone tries to please everyone. That is the number one pitfall, especially if you're starting. You would try to do that, and I don't know if I read this or if I heard this somewhere else. If you try to please everyone, you will end up pleasing no one. So that's it. If you try to please everyone, you will end up pleasing no one. As long as you are, you are guided by your group's mission. You're guided by your goal, and as long as you're doing that and you're helping them, you're letting them understand that what you're trying to do is this one. That's why you're doing a certain action, because you're trying to achieve this. It's making them understand. That's number one. Once that majority understood, okay, now this is important. Somebody might not be pleased by your action, but they understand it. That they understand that this is the way to go. But they're not pleased with what you did. Okay, there's the difference of pleasing everyone and making everyone understand. So that's it. Do not please them. Make them understand that what you're doing is for the benefit of the group. That's it.
And if you manage to let them understand and still they would hate you for what you say or stand for, parang maganda yung sinabi ni kay Tim Tebow ko rin narinig about something he just read, yung it is good if you have enemies, ganyan.
Yeah.
Because it would say that you stood for something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think for me naman, yeah, I got to that point na yeah, because yes, actually
Somebody
I'm a
hated you.
people. No, I'm a people pleaser, and I think there so I had experiences when yeah, oo nga, may naka-misunderstood sa akin, or hindi gusto ako ganyan, but I've and sinulat ko pa nga sa wall yun, please God, not men,
Mm.
ganyan. So
That is already their problem, right?
so yeah.
And really, that is where we have the only what is that? So we are already mixing things here that I've read about leadership. Only focus on things you can control. You can control, can control. So outside that one, it's a loss of energy already. So if you're focusing on, I mean, making them like you, things like that, that is already out of your control. It's a personal thing. The reason why they hate you, that's a personal thing. And in the fourth agreement that we talked about last time, it's don't take anything personal. So, and then Stephen Covey, I think, on the seven attributes of
Highly
success.
effective people.
Yeah, highly effective
Oh,
people. I read books. Oh my goodness.
I've learned about that. I did not actually read, but I've heard about that sa leader na sinasabi ko, si
Yeah.
Sir Tancho, doon sa Hectares of Hope. So,
Shout out to, what's the name again?
Sir Tancho
Yeah, shout out
Baez,
to you,
the
Sir Baez.
executive director,
And,
CEO ng
yeah, we
ng
pray that
HOH.
more of your tribe will increase, you know.
Yeah. Oh, tapos yung sinasabi kong yung young din, younger than I na leader, pamangkin din niya.
Oh,
So,
nice.
there's
What's his name?
Miss Hannah.
Miss
Hello,
Hannah, Madam Hannah. Shout out to you.
So, ano yun yung be proactive, yung ano yan.
Something like that.
Begin with the end in mind.
Begin with the end in mind.
Actually, sabi niya, tinuturo na namin yan sa mga bata nung nasa ano pa sila.
Oh, so they're so lucky kasi I just had this one when I was already working. Yeah, I already read I just read that book when I was in Remnant, like 2011. I don't know the reason why I was reading that. I think because of the tablet, because you know me, I like gadgets. And then how can I maximize this? So I have to download a lot of books, and then I tried to read it in the tablet. That's what I did, and then I happened to have that seven. I cannot remember. As long as it's that. Yeah.
7 characteristics or 7
highly successful.
of highly effective people.
Highly
Ganyan.
successful, highly effective.
Meron siyang version ng kids, so tinuturo.
Yeah.
I started with the kids.
Yeah,
Though
I
tinuro
saw
na
the version
parang
of the kids.
Review ko lang.
And then again, like that, right? So, at times, but then we cannot always remember that. We always forget as a leader. At times we have the humanity in us. This, we are human and we make mistake, and that part of it is humans are emotional, right? And it really hurts us when we know that somebody hates us, right? And at times it's okay. It's okay. We deal with that feeling. We deal with that emotion. It's okay. It's okay to get hurt sometimes. But at times, and then get hurt, yeah, be emotional, and after that, deal with it. That's it. I think that's the most or the healthiest way of dealing with it. Because there's something wrong with you if you cannot react to that thing. Yeah,
Like maybe yun yung ibang fear ko or other fear that I have when it comes to embracing leadership, because I know na when you're in that position, yun nga, you will
will face those.
Yes, and you'll be hurt by other people, and being nag-iisang sister nyo na sobrang prinotektahan nyo. Wow. Na pabebe and all. I'm really emotional and pero siguro yeah,
It's part
I
of
won't.
growing.
Yeah, part of.
Mm, part
I
of
need to really
yeah.
undergo na.
Part of developing yourself is acknowledging that you have that, right? And if you know that you have that, slowly by slowly, or you can change it. Um, in my case, when I became, I don't need to say it. I have temper. I have temper, and that's the thing that I have tried to control. And like, first knowing that you have that, you will always remind yourself to be cool, and of course you have to, you have to observe, or you have to find ways. What should I do if I really need to, or so if I'm so furious, and there's at times if I'm so furious I need to punch things. That's how I get it out, and I have to change that. So I have to find ways, and I blurt out words at times when I'm so angry, and that's when I learned that when you're so happy and you're so angry, do not talk and do not make any decision. That's how I learned it. And how did I learn it? Because I understand that that's me. I know in myself that that is me, and I have that will to change it. So you have that will to change it. Not is not enough. Also, not willing it. You also have the grit, because that won't go away in an instant. It will always come. Maybe tomorrow it will come out again, and you still have to have the grit. I mean, the persistence of doing things. Okay, of liking, of wanting to improve. You have to have that one with you every day. That's how you will improve it. Um, that's, I think, how we reach maturity. Because as time goes by, I noticed that parang di ako nagmamature. I noticed that one after I graduated. Wala, asan nga yung kunadang asan yung sinasabi nila na kapag ganito daw yung edad natin, mature na tayo.
It's not pala automatic, di ba?
No, you have to find it your
Actually,
own.
parang ganun, parang
Which is the same with leadership, right? You can so
you thought
say
na
for
if
example,
you grow old, you can
yeah,
mature
automatic
immediately.
lang nandun na.
Is hindi pala. Natututunan.
Yes. Same is true with leadership.
Mm.
Yeah. Though there are some people, like yung sinatanong ko kanina na, are there people that were like born to be leaders? Maybe there are some na pinanganak sila, tapos leader na sila. Minana nila yung position.
Yung ano.
Minana
Is
nila
the
yung
position,
position. But
is the title.
so maybe the answer maybe is yes, there are. But when it comes to like an effective leader, maybe that is something that you have to learn. I guess. So the effectiveness of your leadership is something that you have to work on. Hindi lang basta-basta. Hindi lang basta-basta nakukuha yun, I guess.
Yeah, because sometimes, or at times, there was a time when I thought na pag leader, dapat magaling magsalita. Pero, hindi naman. Yung mga leader, iba-ibang characteristic. May introvert, may extrovert, ganyan. So, kaya naisip ko, paano na ako? Hindi naman ako mahilig. Hindi ako yung talagang extro. Something like that. Pero, yeah, I heard na iba-iba yung characteristics, skills that leaders have.
You can always find a way. You really want to. There is a way. At the same time, I don't know. So, ay kayo pala hindi na pwersa, no? You were not forced to preach in front when you were young. No. That's why until now, nahihiya kayong tumayo sa harapan.
Hindi naman No, I've outgrown that. It's hindi ko hindi naman.
I was forced. That's why. But then the effect on me is, you know, while I'm walking at school, I don't know, but it became my habit. While I'm walking, going to school, that's why sometimes when we were young, I would really like to be walking alone, going home and going to school. Yes, while I'm walking, I would be imagining that, okay, next time that I'll be going there again in front, I'll be saying this, I'll be saying that. It would be good. Something like that. So it's like I am already lecturing myself on what to do. Next time that I'm gonna be talking in front, I will be looking at the person in front, and then shifting my eyes to the back, then in front again, para hindi ako nervous eh.
Maybe for you you learned it earlier.
That's the effect on me of that.
Yeah,
Forcing me
earlier
how to do
sa'yo.
that, yeah.
I have those times naman, pero siguro later na, parang older than when you started.
Yeah.
Kasi yung sa akin is yung sa pakikipag-usap. Like
With other
the
person.
the person, you're meeting someone,
Mm.
and oh my gosh, ano nang sasabihin ko nito, yung ganun. Iisipin mo na kung anong sasabihin mo, like,
Yeah, when talking to other people, I have that too.
mm,
I don't know how to start, something like that. But then, you know, yeah, that maybe that's where I am a little bit nervous. But talking in front of a crowd, not that much. Talking to, like, having a dialogue with other person is a little bit difficult. I have hard time maintaining eye contact at times. One of the benefit of having the podcast, I can start the conversation, and I think with this as like my 97th episode, and I have like more than 20 guests. It's helping me a lot into the
Yeah.
conversation. One of the attributes of becoming a leader, right? Having that one.
so, even communication skills, yun yung mga,
You have to be, not to be as perfect as one would expect, but at least you have the basics, I guess. Because our notion of a leader is of somebody who knows it all, right? Regardless of an organization, whether that's a Christian organization or something, an unsecular organization, non-religious organization, people's notion about the leader is someone who knows it all, but that's not correct. It is someone, a leader is someone who is trusted to carry the responsibility of achieving the organization's goal. That's it. But it does not mean that he knows it all. So maybe he knows someone who knows that something that he can ask help from, something like that. So leader, again, the wrong notion of people, is not someone who knows it all.
yeah. Ang dami rin, maraming nasi-share Craig Rochelle.
What's his name? Craig.
Yeah, Craig Rochelle.
He's the man, right?
Huh?
Craig.
Yeah, CRAIG.
Yeah.
Life.church, yung niya. So, rin siya pastor. And
You see the thing there? You can download that one and
Yeah.
you can always play it every time that your
Offline.
internet is, yeah.
Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast. Ang dami niyang na sasabi rin about, kasi nga, I've embraced na being yung yan leader. So, sabi niya, leader do consistently. Leaders do consistently what others do occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah.
Yung mga ganyan.
Yes.
Tapos, yung creating good leadership habits, yung mga
Yes.
breaking bad leadership habits. Ay, grabe.
But you can use that thing there, that doing consistent doing consistently what others do occasionally.
Mm.
It's like becoming someone successful
Mm.
is doing consistently what others do occasionally. Okay? Becoming good at singing is doing consistently the things that you need to do in order to be successful in singing, where others do it occasionally, something like that. So the key is consistently. So consistently improving ourselves is consistently doing things that others do occasionally. Yeah, things like that. It's
And
what I learned in my 35. No, no, no. How old am I now? 36
Come on.
years of
tell
existence.
the truth.
Yeah, that's 36. I just missed 1 year.
Yeah, so I think I have a long way to go when it comes to leadership habits.
Things that will make us, scare us in stepping on the leadership shoe is that we're putting too much expectations on ourselves. Right? It's like you're overloading yourself with the expectations of people, and no. If you do that, you're just exhausting yourself. Start at the very beginning, a very good place to start this day. Right? Just accept the responsibility you already did, and then start working on yourself. Start working on becoming a great leader. Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's even not even expectation of other people, but my own expectation of
Your own
what a
expectation.
leader should be.
You're adding it also to the expectation of people.
Yeah, and it's like, siguro parang
And that's the worst because you know yourself.
nagmamadali or
Right?
something.
Yes. Yeah. So, how old are you now?
You need to ask.
I need to ask because you say
You need
you
to
are
say it. At
you're
29.
29. And how old is Daddy when he became a pastor?
Third,
I think
because 30 yung gap namin sa so
94.
30 years old.
Exactly. That's just a year ahead.
30 yung pero
Still,
dati na siyang
yeah. And still, he's too young to handle the church like that. And he embraced it. Though there are a lot of challenges expected. With all new experiences, there are a lot of challenges that you need to face. That you will face.
Gosh.
Yeah. But the thing
So
there
help
is
me God.
the word grit. You have to have the grit. Face it. And fake it till you make it. I love that. I think I told you this story before of this person who is really gifted in math. I think she's studying in MIT, and then she met an accident and had a head injury that causes her to lose like 8 points of IQ. So and then she cannot do the things she's been doing before. She cannot do it anymore, solving hard math equations, things like that. And then it's so good that there's one professor who really took attention to her and then guided her all throughout those trials. And then she told the girl, just fake it until you make it. Yeah. And then she did. She faked it until she made it. And then, while she was telling the story, she was crying because it's a really emotional story. She faked it until so. It's like this one is showing the plasticity of our brain, that it is not really, our IQ is not really fixed, that we there's this book again that I'm reading. I'm trying to finish it now, a growth mindset, that we can improve ourselves as long as we would work on it very, very hard. Parang ganun yung niya. So that's growth mindset as compared to fixed mindset that wala na. If that girl has a fixed mindset and she said, I already lost like 8 points of IQ, I cannot really do this anymore, then the story would have ended there. But then she didn't. She tried to grow, and she tried to develop, and she faked it until she made it. She was, I don't know where she's working now. I have seen that interview like 6 years ago. I cannot remember where she's working now, but she's one of the successful, I think, professor.
So, hindi na bumalik yung dati ng IQ.
Yeah, but I think the brain finds ways to find ways, and then yes, and then to connect to each other, of course, to process the information that she's receiving, and still she can perform those things that other high IQ people are performing. So it's I think that's attributed to neuroplasticity. Okay, at the same time, that's what they're calling the growth mindset. If she had, let's say, comparison, a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, and sometimes, especially in my field of work, I hate to say this in DepEd, most of the people had the fixed mindset. Matanda na kami, hindi na namin. It's really difficult to learn that. And tapos na kami dyan, kayo naman. Things like that. And they stop learning. They stop learning. Yun ang nakakatakot. They say if you stop learning, it's like you stop living. So as a leader, that is really, and I think one of the attributes in my experience is I'm not really sure if this will apply, but the ability of learning very fast, learning things.
Ayun nga. In connection with that.
Yeah.
Grabe, I think this is something na I've also embraced na I'm slow, yung ganyan. Slow akong maligo, slow akong kumain, slow maghugas ng plato, slow maglaba, and everything. And yeah, I just remembered. And sabi ni Craig Rochelle, yung you start yung habits na yan by asking this question first. What do you think of yourself, or who you think you are? Yung ganyan. So if you think yung parang susunod na yung actions mo sa kung kasi 'di ba it starts in the mind, ganyan. So kung parang for example, if you think that you are a disciplined person, then you act like it.
Like one. Yeah.
So I think parang naging ko rin na slow kasi ako yung ganyan. That's why parang sumusunod na rin. So I think it's just recent also when I parang sinasabi ko na no, I'm a fast learner.
One of the effect maybe of people telling you that you're slow.
Yeah.
That's why we have to be mindful of our words in the four agreement. Yeah, be mindful of our words, because we're not mindful, it might. And
parang sinasabi nila, parang dinedescribe nila. Tapos ina-accept ko na rin lang.
Accept mo, yeah.
Parang yun na rin yung, babagal kasi akong kumain, kaya please wait na lang.
Yeah. Sometimes if you are, and you'll find workarounds. You'll find workarounds, and like what he said, if you start thinking that you're fast, it's all about self-development, self-reflecting, things like that. It's how we improve ourselves. We are fortunate, to encounter, and read books like this in terms of about leadership, about about things, about self-improvement, and it's nowadays it's very easy now to
That's right.
Yeah, to find.
Hindi actually I'm not, buti nga ngayon meron ng audio, meron ng podcast, kasi I'm not really a bookworm. Maybe parang masabi ko lang na may nabasa ko na kaya binasa ko yung ibang books, or it's a requirement, that's why. yung ganyan. Pero I'm not a bookworm. But it's a good thing may mga podcasts or audiobooks or something.
I read books when I was young. I don't know, just because sometimes I get
For
bored with
you.
listening to drama. That's why I have read, like I said before, I have read the books there. But we forget things. Yeah, we forget things. It's very, it's very. I'm glad that we're living in this time, this moment, this era of the internet, that we can easily access informations that we need. One of the
You just have to
information.
be wise.
Yes, you just have to be
well.
wise. One of the best informations that I can share about leadership that I've read is I forgot. Jocko Willink's book. Jocko Willink is like a
Jacko?
Jocko, yeah.
Jocko.
Like you spell it Joko. Like Jocko Willink. Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership. Extreme Ownership, I guess. That's the title of the book. So Jocko Willink is a retired Navy officer in the United States military.
Extreme ownership.
Extreme Ownership.
Oh, here.
Yeah. So, and he's also a podcaster. I like listening to his podcast, but his podcast is focused more on, of course, leadership and military things, military history, those things. So extreme ownership's about, to sum it up, it's about owning up. As a leader, you have to own up everything
Yeah.
that happens in your group, whether
You
that
cannot
is
blame anyone.
yes, whether that is failure or that is a success. Especially with failure, you have to own it as a leader. Do not blame your members.
Take ownership.
Yes, taking ownership. That's, I think, one of the best book that we can read if we are gearing ourselves to become a leader.
Oh, but it's sabi niya, once people stop making excuses, stop blaming others, and take ownership of everything in their own lives, they are compelled to take action to solve their
Yes.
problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tama. But when you start to play the blame game, it will, like, if I am the highest leader, I'll blame you as my assistant, and you have somebody who's lower than you blame them, and then you blame them until it goes to the lower part. And then the lower person will say, if the leader would have done this, it comes back to me.
Yeah, actually, I have this experience. And it's painful.
Yeah.
It hurts. Pero at the end, parang may sense of achievement ka na, hindi ako nag-blame. Parang meron din yun. At least
Yes.
may comfort ka.
But then, so extreme ownership really is that. Extreme ownership. One of an example I can use for that is Mayor Benjamin Magalong. There was this issue of him and his wife, wherein there was this time during the pandemic, it was locked down, and they had attended a party or gala in Camp John Hay. They were caught. Yeah, people nowadays, everybody has a camera. Now, he accepted it, and it's my mistake. I'll take full responsibility. So I admire that about him. It's a mistake, yes, and we do make mistake. I admire that about him because he like took it, and that is my fault. I am the executive of the time. I'm the leader, and I take full responsibility of that situation. I really like that one, as compared to someone I know. Just kidding.
Marami siguro.
Yeah.
Extreme ownership. Leaders must own everything in their world. There is no one else to blame.
Yes.
Wow.
No one else to blame except him. But then, when you start doing that according to him, when you start taking ownership of those ones, your members will see it and they will also follow suit.
So,
Yeah.
yung culture ng blaming
Yes.
someone mawawala.
Will be eliminated. That's correct. They will follow, and of course, when you accept that, you will think of a solution, right? So, say for example, it's a failure, and you accept that, okay, this is my mistake. I'm a leader. I have not. We are not successful in this endeavor because I have not explained it properly to you, and we should go back to the drawing board, and we have to replan. Right? We'll replan, and we'll do another meeting, and we'll try to solve this again. And then the other members will say, oh, our leader accepted it, and then what did I do wrong as a member of this group that contributed to this failure? Maybe I should think about that, and I have to fix it, something like that. So it's like it will become an influence to all the members of the group,
Yeah.
taking ownership. Extreme. It's extreme because you really don't have anyone to blame. You really take it upon yourself as a leader.
And you will earn the respect of
Exactly.
your members.
Yeah.
You'll continue to be united kaysa naman yung
Mm.
sisiraan tas
Exactly.
wala na yung team. After all, sabi niya, there can be no leadership where there is no team.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nice. So Joko, may podcast
Yeah,
din
he
siya.
has a podcast. I
Yeah.
think he's already in episode 800 or something, 1000, something like that.
Kasi nakafocus lang ako dito eh.
Yeah,
So,
but then all his podcasts, I guess, is in YouTube,
not in Spotify.
not in Spotify. YouTube, you can search it in YouTube. I don't know if they have it in Spotify also.
Wala.
Mm.
Joko, will link.
But that's like more about military history, things like that. But yeah, he have at times because his podcast is like my podcast. It does not have a format like. So at times there's a part of his podcast wherein he discusses about leadership things like that.
So
and
ini-integrate.
and then goes back to telling
Military.
history about military exploits of the United States, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Yeah.
What else is about-
you have a note.
No, I just because I wrote the question
You
before.
have a note about who is, let's say, so since we're talking about leadership, who is or who do you admire the most as a leader? Maybe a person I know or I don't know.
Aside from
Yeah.
Jesus, because of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a
being
person.
a
I said a
leader,
person.
Yeah, he's considered 100% man. He was. Person I know, si Daddy,
admire
of
as a leader,
course.
yeah.
Obvious, no.
Mm.
Bias.
Oh yeah. Let me
Daddy.
ask you why him as a leader?
Siguro yung ano niya, the character that he had,
Mm.
and para makikita mo na rin yun sa how people would appreciate him. But anyway, kasi walang idea yung iba. His pagiging tactful.
Yeah.
Ganyan. It's the character that the wisdom that he had,
Mm.
and yung character niya as a person, and that's what I really admire. So he really siguro parehas tayo ng observation, ikaw na lang. Baka mas
No. I want to hear it
mo
from you,
siya
and then
ng ano.
I'll compare my notes.
wala
Yeah.
akong notes.
No.
Pero si Daddy, kasi kalmado siyang tao. Like, before he talks, parang talagang iniisip niya muna bago siya magsalita, ganyan. Tapos, in a positive way. Paano ba? For example, yung experience ko na lang siya sa kanya, how he, yung alam mo yun, yung, pag may ginagawa ko, and then he appreciates, very good. Yung ganyan, kung yung nagugustuhan niya, yung ganyan. And, pag may sinabi ka, tapos, paano ba? hindi agad siya mag-judge or magko-comment. He would ask questions to know more kung ano ba yung, for example, yung situation or before he would say anything. Yung ganyan. So, siguro wisdom. Wisdom. So, dagdagan mo na lang.
Yeah, maybe yes, the same. In my observation is sometimes sometimes too kind to a fault. He does not you will not find him deciding on things drastically. He really thinks about things. He's so tactful. Always like so calm times in negotiating with other people. So that's what I find fascinating about him in terms of leadership, things like that. I had this experience with him where I almost got into a fight because of some let's just say land dispute. And people came to our house. I don't know if you can remember that. I was a little bit nervous still. The back of my mind, I'm preparing. I was looking at where are the knife, where are the machetes, what weapon can I use, things like that. I was already preparing myself. But then he asked me to go boil some water, prepare coffee, and then they talk, and it's good. It's this experience I have with him, and he talked, and then the way he talked is that it's like the people who came were embarrassed because I think they too were prepared to have like a confrontation, but then the way he talked is that it calmed things down, and then actually actually they were already the ones scolding their relatives who like asked them to come with him and to go to our house. And then parang yung naging resulta is siya pa yung napagalitan, and then they talked, and everything was settled. So one of the incident I've seen how he managed it tactfully. And in terms of becoming a leader of the church, if he's met with opposition, he just let it go, and then do the things on his own. He does things on his own, and then when people see the effect, then they will come. That's what he does. So if there is a project and then there are some opposition, he just started doing it, and then some of the people who agrees with the project will come, and then they help, and then later on when people see the effect of the project, they will come. They will voluntarily come, even if in the beginning they're the one opposing it. So that's how he does his leadership. When at times it's tiring, but then he did it. He managed to do it, and I mean, in my opinion, it's a very successful style of leadership, also. And
so, do you have any other thought aside from him, like
for me,
throwing the question back to you?
Throwing a question back to me, I cannot remember someone. In terms of it's not leadership. In terms of being a down-to-earth person, my boss back in Mankayan, I can have a lot. I have my supervisor here, Mr. Dr. De La Rosa Delmas, a very down-to-earth person. My principal in Mankayan, Sir Abdon Kosjan, the humbleness, in despite of the position that they have, or when they talk to you, it's like it's like they're the same with your level, and it's amazing. It's amazing. They do not say, you have to talk to me like that in a way. You have to talk to me in a certain way because I'm in this position. They don't do that.
Mhm.
So they're the ones I admire in terms of humbleness and humility as a leader. I admire them for that. Work related, same. Sir De La Rosa, and also with Sir Abdon Kushan.
Mm.
I really look up to that guy, to that old man, and I think that's it. At the
Marami
top of my
siguro.
mind right now, at the
Yeah.
top of my mind, maybe
I
I
think
can
there
tell
are a
some.
lot, pero
There are a
yung
lot, but but for now, that those are the people I can remember.
yeah. Kasi yung kasi kasasabi ko lang din na ah, person ay yung kasi recent lang yung parang encounter ko sa
Yeah.
kanya si Sir Tancho.
The most recent person na may encounter natin, yun yung talagang lalabas, you know,
Mm,
every time.
pero marami yun nga si Sir Tancho, si Ma'am Deborah Madrid, Bugnosan Madrid. The daughter of Dr.
Dr.
Bugnosan.
Bugnosan, yeah.
Yes. And yung mga sa akin mga nami-meet ko sa mga sina Ma'am Chesa, Ma'am Juvie, there are lots.
Well, anyway, all the leaders we met, I guess, I think we have met.
Mm.
We can learn from them regardless of what lessons we can learn from them. May mga time na sabi natin, as a human, we have their opinion, right? We have our opinion, grabe naman tong boss na to. Or, I say, my job, grabe yung dating a principal, something like that. We have those notions. And still, we are learning from those people. Though we have a negative opinion about them, we are still learning from them. Those negative experiences are what we call experiences, learning opportunities. At least we know what not to do when the time comes that you are the one in their shoes. Thanks that we can say that one, you know. At least we know how to, deal with that experience. I mean, negative situation because we already experienced it from them. So with all the leaders, whether we have a negative or positive experience with them, we can always learn from them. Negative or positive experiences, those are learning opportunities that will make us stronger or will develop our skill. So negative will be making you stronger. Positive will be adding to your gears. Something like that.
Yeah. And I would like to especially mention
Special mention. Mention especially.
mention especially. I like to do a special mention of my contemporary Mati Langawan. Yeah, I've learned much.
Shout out to what's her name again?
Si Ading Manang Ading Piman, Mati Langawan.
Mati, is that the real name? Mati?
Yeah, Mati.
Oh.
Plain Mati.
Mati.
Or Mary. Yan. Para magandang
American accent?
Yes.
Mati?
Bata, she's really younger than I, pero parang feeling ko ang tanda na niya sa akin.
Experiences.
When it comes to yung sa leadership naman. So dito naman yung talking about leadership, yung parang example din ni Jesus, it's servant leadership. Ganyan. So she leads with yung pag-act niya talaga, pag-serve niya, and serving others. Ganyan. And it's an example that I've learned from her, kaya nung Davao internship namin, na-apply ko rin yung mga na tutunan ko sa kanya.
I thought she was with you when you went to Davao. Yeah?
No, she's not enrolled in ACES.
I see.
Kasama ko siya sa Bible school in PBBI.
Okay.
Tapos mga nagtuturo din. So,
Well, shout out to the leaders of, what's that again? PBBI?
Philippine Bethel Bible Institute. Yes,
Yes.
hi, Ate Jasmine,
Yeah.
Balakdaw, Paloy, Mrs.
You,
the
you,
principal. Yeah.
you have the heaviest or the biggest responsibility of keeping that school alive. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, with God's grace and God's help,
Yeah. Oo,
you can do
marami
that.
na sila. Mm-mm.
What else about leadership? I thought you have a lot of notes.
Isa lang naman, pero okay na 1 hour
Oh,
na.
yeah. All right. So that's it. Yeah.
Pero
Any shout out?
ang ano,
Last parting words
very number one,
for
ano
this
natin,
episode. Yeah.
number one example sa leadership talaga, I see Jesus. So,
Of course.
I think I actually even shared about leadership, yung ganyan is it's not the position, it's how you live your life, na mag-influence sa mga tao, especially if you're a Christian. When you're a Christian, ganyan.
Yeah.
Pero siguro talagang ngayon ko lang siya na nag-sink in sa puso ko o sa heart ko.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you this.
Mm.
Yeah, when you are a leader, every eye is on you. You'll be placed under a microscope, not just the microscope, it's a super powered microscope. Every move, every word you utter, every mistakes you do will be amplified. Right? And you have to prepare for that. That's why I said, don't take anything personally, and always work on things you can control. That's it. But that's the drawback, you know. When you are the leader, everything you do is like is there a word is there such a word as minorist? The smallest mistake that you can make
Walang minorist.
will be like amplified, will be magnified 1,000 times. Why? You should always remember that because you're at the top. Because you're at the top, people can easily see those things, can easily magnify it. And how are you going to combat that one? First, you have to expect that is natural. That will always happen. Expect it. Embrace it. Embrace it, expect it, and next, don't take it personally, and still work your way. Work on things consistently to improve yourself, because you have to improve, you know. At the same time, pray a lot for guidance.
Yeah.
But it's always expect that even the most minute thing that you will do will be amplified, and may mamarites siya, things like that. But then, if you embrace it, normal yan, talagang ganyan, nandito ako sa position nito. It's a little bit lighter. You know?
Actually, yeah, in connection to what I've said na, yun nga, Jesus being our example, yun nga, yung may mga reminder naman na, remember that the world hated me first, diba? No servant is greater than their master. Si Jesus nga, grabe rin yung pinagdaanan niya sa experience na on earth. So, parang expected na talaga. But sometimes, parang, you know naman na eh. Pero, when you come to that point na,
It's a human. It's a
yeah,
human. It's a
masakit pa
normal
rin.
reaction.
But it's a good na, it is good na may comfort na mga ganyan, no? We know it's coming.
Knowing it would be lighter.
Yeah.
Same time, you know, take comfort in the sense that you know you have your God.
Yes.
Take comfort in prayers, things like that, and it will be lighter. And kuna na nga, Lord, come to me and I will make your burden light. Anong verse yan?
Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. So, yes, just follow as a follower of Christ. Those every negativities are expected, but we have the victory. So,
All right.
yeah.
And with that, we'll say goodbye and see you in another episode. before. Yeah, shout out.
I-re-quote. Walang shout out.
Walang shout out? Okay.
Pero i-quote ko lang
Here we
din
go.
to. Kasi yung karinig sa mga podcast. Ito. So, last message. You are loved, you are worthy, and you matter. Remember it, receive it, and believe it. Okay?
Thank you so
Bye.
much.